What's up, Les? What's up, AC?
What up?
What's going on? Welcome to the show, Aaron. Glad to have you here finally.
Yeah. Been
Les got some
moving.
good lighting back there. Welcome to another episode, man, of Sit and Talk Sports. We are live on YouTube as usual. You can follow us on all the social media platforms at sitandtalksports.com is the web. Sit and Talk Sports is live in the group. Sit and Talk Sports is Twitter. Sit and Talk Sports Facebook. Sit and Talk Sports Instagram. We also got a clubhouse. Sit and talk. Come join us, man. Talk some good smack with us. We're bringing you new heat every week, twice a week, Monday and Wednesdays. We're going to up it a little bit for you guys. But today we got a good show, man. We got Aaron Carter in the building. We got my man Lester from NC. AC be all over the place, man. We've been trying to get this dude on forever, and he just keep going airport to airport.
I'm in Louisiana right now.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like all over the place. But definitely good to have you, man. And I want to kind of jump right into because I know these are one of the hot topics for you is that Jaylen Brown's return, his future, the Celtics' future, the new coach. You know, the Celtics are responding good right now to Udoka. So, what's your thoughts right now on the Celtics' future right now and Jaylen Brown's return, AC?
Um, I think they're up in the air. I mean, I don't think they're a 50-win team. Um, I think how they go is pretty much how Jalen and Tatum how they interact. Because last year was, I think everybody could see they were literally taking turns. They weren't. There was no flow to their game. So it'd be like if Tatum was hot, uh, Jalen was sitting in the corner. I think that 42-point game that Jalen had, a couple of nice games that he had, Tatum would sort of be in the background. They never actually cooked at the same time.
Right.
One thing I do like though is they both seem really amped about the new coach. So they seem like they're already bought in. They're talking. Jalen, in his introductory speech the other day, he was already saying how he's just excited about the coach and about his plan already. So that's definitely something different. When last year they were press conference where they didn't even mention Stevens by name. Like there was no mention of the coach. It was like they were the Nets. They didn't have a coach. Everybody was a
Right.
coach. So I had them at about 45 wins right now. But I don't make my full bets. I have some bets. I've already bet on opening night of the NBA, but I don't have my Celtics over and under or anything yet. I like to watch training camp, hear how they see how they look, all that kind of stuff. So
Les,
Yeah,
what's your thoughts?
I'm I'm with Aaron on a few of these things that he's making. I got him between 40 and 45 wins myself. I think the only way they can exceed that is if they make some sort of in-season trade, or if Tatum and Brown both together take a huge step forward again and become top 10 players. Can that happen? Who knows? Will it happen this year? I wouldn't bet for it to happen. I think a lot of things got to go right for them dudes to get over 45 wins. Nesmith has got to mature quicker. He's got to get more playing time. He's got to be consistent and hit shots and continue to develop.
Right.
Robert Williams has got to play. Aaron, how many games do you think he's playing this year? Is he going to get hurt? Is he going to be hurt all through the season with toe injuries, hand
it's
injuries?
going to be it's almost guaranteed plantar fasciitis.
Hmm.
I'm almost guaranteed. Um, he came in. It looks like he's in shape. He was holding the guns up
Hmm.
and all that kind of stuff. But it really is. If he gets a stub toe, is he done? Is he going to
Yeah.
fight through that? He's got his contract.
Hmm.
So really, where's the incentive for him right now? Because he's already thinking about the second one. So we have to see if he wants to up that, kind of like Marcus Smart did a little bit, or if he's just going to kind of coast and not reach his full potential. Because you look at a dude like him, and you see what he can do. Like you can see his passing, you can see how he can control the defense, you can see what he can do in the game. There is no way that he should have gone where he went in the draft.
No,
and you can see exactly why he is because he's lazy. He's a lazy
yeah,
dude, and
I
that's
agree with
that's
that.
hard.
And he gets hurt too easily, and he misses games. He just misses games, and I'm not blaming him for being hurt. People get hurt. Some people injury prone. Is he an injury prone type of player? And if he is, that's going to be a problem. And if he is going to be injury prone, then maybe we should look at moving him now while his stock is high. But I like him. I like the
Mm.
potential of him. I like all the things I see. I think he has a potential of being. I said special once, and I probably jumped out the window when I said that.
Yeah.
But I think he could be really good, and if he can develop a little, I'm old, so I'm gonna use Charles Oakley. If he could develop a little Charles Oakley 18-foot jumper, so they can do some more pick and pop with Jalen and Tatum, I
Yeah.
think that would make the team a lot more dangerous because then now he can roll to the hoop and he can pop. So I think one thing I'm concerned about is what you said earlier, though, is I agree. I don't think Jalen and Jason to this point has looked cohesive on the court. Now, I don't know if that's because of the lack of talent around them, because I gotta be honest with you, if I'm Tatum and Jalen, I probably wouldn't pass to some of them dudes either. So
See, that's coaching to me. That's
mhm.
like if you have. I mean, it's clear what I think about Jalen Brown. I think to me, he's a one-time All-Star. That's what he is. Whatever we think he might be, or whatever, all the rest of this stuff, he's a one-time All-Star. He's a 2-year starter. And I think last year he was specifically going to be an All-Star. And you could see it in his stats. You could see it in his game. I think Tatum, if Tatum develops a bit of some kind of dog in him, some
Mean streak.
right. When you watch him, you can see the talent. I've been a fan of his since he was in high school, but there's something missing when stuff gets down. He just sort of shrinks away.
Right.
I mean, he can put up 50 points, he can put up 30 points, and sometimes there's players who put up 30, you don't know they put up 30, like Reggie Lewis used to do, and you look up, you're like, wow, how did he get 30, and they're winning the game. But with Tatum, sometimes he'll put up 30, you don't know he put up 30, and they're down by 15. And he had way too many of those games last year to put any serious like to really put any serious thought into where he's at right now.
Yeah, I would like to see him impose his will. He's lifting these weights. He's getting stronger, and I would like to see him impose his will. The one I will give him some bail though, and I've said this a few times, and it's kind of crazy. But if you compared him to Giannis, and let me finish this because it's going to sound crazy until I finish. Year to year, like Giannis is a rookie, Tatum is a rookie. Giannis first year, Tatum's first year, so on and so on and so on. Tatum is developing faster than Giannis was at this point in his career. I believe he made the All-Star team faster. I believe his numbers have gotten better faster. Is he Giannis? Hell no, he's not Giannis's level. But that gives me hope that if he keeps progressing on the climb he's on right now, that he is on his way to being special. And could that be enough to get this Boston to where we need to be? Maybe it might be.
I think what makes the Greek Freak special is his athleticism and his strength. Tatum has actual game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I
he's not
think
that
I think the
athletic. Yep.
Celtics issue is they have. I think him and Tatum and JB they're just two one-on-one style type of players. And then when you got those two type of players, you don't even have a real traditional point guard to even set either one of them up when they go on their cold streaks. You know what I'm saying? You got a Marcus Smart and Dennis Schroeder. They're not really the guys that really are like getting. They'll get their assists, but they don't get guys into their rhythm with their assists. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's my thoughts on. I think that's their downfall, and they both hungry, they both want it, and it's they can want it all they want. But if you don't got the team to go out there and make it happen, I just don't think they're going to be that great this year. I honestly feel like they should eventually send Jalen on his way because he's going to leave eventually. I've always thought that. I know and before this whole community stuff came out about Jalen, that's what type of man he is and type of guy he is. And it's like Boston isn't the type of place I would think he'll really be too attractive to. So it's not surprising that these reports are coming out about them wanting certain type of changes in that organization. But I just think they're too one-on-one and really don't, and neither one of them get players involved. The same with Dame Lillard and CJ. That's why they're struggling in Portland. They're never going to win. They're just one-on-one ISO guys, and they can just bust ass all day, but that ain't getting you to the chip. So we're gonna go right into the next topic with Klay. In his first practice, he's looking really, really good. He's looking solid. James Wiseman should have a great year, hopefully. What you guys think about the Warriors coming back in the West, and what type of noise can they make in the Western Conference?
Oh, we had this talk. We had this talk on Clubhouse where people were saying the Warriors were top 3, top 4 team. That's another case of people putting emotion before the stats and the facts. The Warriors didn't make the playoffs last year. Their second best player has been out for 2 years. Wiseman and the younger guys that they have in there. I was listening the other day. Someone mentioned that first, the young people don't win in the NBA, but two, the vets, they're not on the same timeline. So you got half the team's young trying to establish their career. Then you got the other half of the team, like Draymond, who's on the back nine. So how's that supposed to work to where these young guys, they need to play for contracts, they need to do all these things. And then you got the older guys who are still looking, maybe we can catch one more. And you got some people who are thinking Klay is going to be out for 2 years and come back and be the same, all NBA Klay, all defense, perfect shot, all the rest of that. To me, if they reach the 6th seed, it's a great season for them. Yeah. That's what I see them at.
I think I'm not worried about Klay's shooting. I think that's going to do what it's going to do. I don't think Klay's going to be the same defensively right away. I remember when Artest and Paul George, 2 players, missed a lot of times. It took them a while for them both to get back. They didn't get back that same year. Luckily Klay's more of a jump shooter, and he's not more of a create off a dribble and all that. So I think offensively he'll be fine. But is he going to guard the point guard? Is he going to guard the 2? Is he going to guard the 3 effectively? I don't know. I'm going to have to wait to see that. I think they should really push hard for Simmons. I think they should maybe you put Draymond and Wiggins, and maybe Philly takes it with a draft pick, what Draymond can do. And he's younger, so because I think they have some mixes that they got to do something. They got to make a move here or there to really compete. I think the Suns are still going to be better than them. Lakers obviously are going to be better than them. Utah, regular season is going to be better. Is that my internet or yours?
I think it's yours.
I think Utah is just nothing but a regular season team. I don't think they can make any noise in the playoff as deep as these other teams. I think it all depends on Wiseman and the quick development of Golden State's young boys, right? Because Klay's going to have his shot. He's not going to lose that at all. But I agree with you, Les. Defensively, he might lose a couple of steps. So that might hurt them in the way. But offensively, and he's going to be perfectly fine when it comes to handling the ball and shooting the rock. I think it's going to depend on Wiseman, the rookies, and the young boys they got over there to help them develop and see if they can make a push late in the playoffs. Because Steph's ready, we know that Draymond's ready. Now we got to see what Klay's going to do defensively, because he was a big part of that team defensively. So he's going to take a step back with moving around because he came off of a major injury. But I think as soon as he gains his confidence back, maybe towards the midseason, it can change around. But I think Golden State can be tough. Doesn't really matter how much Klay really comes back. It's still all about you got to go through LA. Aaron, you know that. So it doesn't really matter what Klay really does.
It's also with Steph too. Everyone's acting like Steph is not going to age like he's LeBron or Brady. People forgetting that Steph, number one, he's a small dude. He just signed the biggest contract in NBA history. He had a great season individually, but again, the fact is they didn't make the playoffs. Right. So now, how much is Klay going to come back? And you also have to factor in the decline of Draymond, where we can argue about Draymond all day, but his talent wasn't being able to defend all those positions last year. And nobody cared if he could shoot. Last year, he was a liability. Forget about not shooting. He was a
Mhm.
liability on offense, and then he didn't help them as much on defense, really. And
Yeah,
you could see that impact. So how's that going to strain Steph now? Because he also is on the
Right.
decline. So that's going to
Go ahead,
be.
Les.
I think people aren't factoring that in as well.
yeah. I think Draymond he's got to have some sort of bounce back, and is he capable of it? I don't know, because I think offensively he was terrible last year. I think defensively he slipped as well. Um,
I think
uh,
I think he, I think he I think offense. I think last year showed exactly who he is offensively, though.
mhm.
Without the whole squad there, it really exposed what he really can't do. He's a great player, but he's a great player in great situations as well. He's a great motivator. Like, he's the right guy to have on your team. But overrated as hell. Should have never made an all-star team, but go ahead, continue.
See, I don't see, and that's where I talk about this with Rodman. People will go, well, Rodman, it was 4-on-5, and that's not true, because when you look at Rodman's stats, he had 4.5, 5 offensive rebounds a game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the offense where he's getting the board and he's getting Jordan at that time, Pippen extra shots. Draymond was getting, so when Clay missed a shot, you had Draymond there to pick up that garbage, get the rebound. Now they get 2 shots instead of 1. Last year he didn't do that. And I thought you saw a huge difference to where you saw Steph's scoring went up and you saw some of his games that were on SportsCenter and stuff like that. But the games that they lost was where Draymond, when Steph was off, Draymond wasn't getting those misses.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a
Yeah,
huge loss offensively where people go, well, disregard him. I don't disregard him. So like when I'm making a wager or I'm looking at the stats or whatever, or just talking shit in general, I'm looking at those stats that Draymond is putting up. I'm looking at those offensive rebounds and those second chance points, and those went away. And
Right.
that's the difference between, they won a game on Wednesday night where Steph wasn't hot or losing that game. And that was all Draymond not picking up those boards and doing that little shit that he normally does.
yeah. I think
So
Wiseman is going to have to. I think Wiseman's going to have to get those rebounds now. I think it's going to be his job to really crash the boards, get offensive rebounds, second attempts for everyone else. I think he's going to need to use his size to really help this team do something. I mean, I think it's other teams' time too. I think it's like Denver and Utah's time to really try and be contenders.
It's not their time
But
yet.
well, I would say it's not their time maybe to get to the finals,
Denver definitely.
but it's their time to put pressure to be a top 2 seed. I think. I don't think it's Golden State's time anymore. I think
Right.
that they're declining, and I think that spot is available for a Denver or a Utah. I think more Denver than Utah, honestly, because
Yeah.
something doesn't mix right with them in come playoff time. I don't know what it is. Maybe they just get the luck of the draw and they're losing to better teams. Because sometimes the other team is just better and you can't win. So maybe that's
And
it. But
can't have Donovan Mitchell as the guy leading you to the championship. I
Yeah.
don't care how.
Utah's a soft team.
Yeah.
Soft.
Donovan's very good, but he can't be the guy leading you to a championship. Okay, what
to
stats
me,
he put up,
Denver.
how many 50-point games he put up. He's not the guy that's going to win you.
No.
That's going to be the lead guy to win you a championship. It's never going to happen for him. And Shaq is 100% right about his statements about him. He wasn't knocking him. He's just not on the level of a lot of other greats.
He's
There's nothing wrong with that.
he's an all-star. He's not a great. And I think but Denver, the sum of their team, to me, Denver, if you're looking at a 7-game series between a young, hungry Denver and an old, tired LA, I'd be fine going with Denver on that. In terms
Denver's
of
pretty
7
good.
games, yeah, Denver's good.
Michael
Not-
Porter Jr. is gonna come. He's hooping this year. Their team is very, very solid. Their team's very solid, and they got some fresh legs, and they're experienced over there. Good coaching. Still got to come through LA at the end of the day. So we'll see how that turns out. But
you don't technically.
KD's turning 33, man. How much he got left in the tank? He's 33.
I think he's going to be nice for a few more years. I think he's the best player in the game still. Like that's just
He's
me.
not the best player
You
in the
know,
game, but go
who's better than
ahead.
him?
I mean, LeBron's better than him, but still, yeah, I think this is going to be hard for me to comment because usually I don't involve emotion, but I've never rooted against a team harder than I did for last year's Nets team.
Right.
So like if Noah B. Jones is around and all those people, that team disgusts me. You had two guys who quit on their other teams to get together
For real.
on
No
that
bullshit.
Nets team. Kyrie quit. Harden technically should have been arrested. He was taking games like openly. Um, but
But you're
you
you're saying you don't like them, and for obvious reasons why you don't like them. I can't even
but
argue those reasons.
they
But is
can't
he
they
not?
no I mean the when I look at a team, I look at what's most likely to happen. So if you look at Kyrie's career, for example, he's been seriously injured every other year, starting with Duke, starting in high school, healthy in high school, injured in Duke, healthy his first year, injured the next year. He's on pace to be injured this year, pretty heavy. And he's already talking about the vaccine and all the rest of that stuff. I think KD is logged some serious minutes over the last couple of years, including coming off that injury. So everyone points out that KD's stats and everything were great last year, but they ignore the fact that he played less than half the games. So he had that opportunity to be fresh in the playoff. If Kyrie's going to be out and Harden's going to, take the time off that he normally takes off, that team is looking around 50 wins. So what seed are they going to be come playoff time?
Well, I think
And
KD is going to be fine because of the things that you said. He hasn't played a lot of basketball, and I also think, call me, and maybe I'm getting my conspiracy on. I actually kind of think that Kyrie's going to milk that not playing home games as long as he can, or he's gonna so he can be healthy come playoff time. Harden is the one that I don't think no matter what you do or how good he looks, he's going to find a way to hurt you when you most need him not to hurt you. So I think KD's going to be fine. Kyrie, I think is you're right. He's going to get injured. He's going to miss games. But I think if he uses this COVID thing, because these are what these players are doing now. They're looking for ways not to play games. They're looking for excuses, and I think some of the people are going to use this COVID thing not to play. I think some people are going to say they don't have the vaccine, or they're going to not, or they'll get the vaccine closer to playoff time or something like that. I
Well,
think
I mean, right now, I mean, the way it's looking, it's like if they miss these games, it looks like they're not going to be getting paid either.
yeah,
that I
So,
didn't know.
and
yeah,
I didn't
I
know
don't
that.
think Kyrie cares about getting paid. I think Kyrie cares about Kyrie. And I
right,
think that's for when you have a team with three sensitive ass dudes, name me a team that's won like that in the NBA.
right.
I've never seen a team with more guys who whine about being superstars than what you've seen there.
Well, I mean, we never had a sensitive era like this either. So this shit just might fit them.
Well, I
With
mean,
that
you
said,
but there's no enforcer on that team. So like
Right,
if someone knocks Kyrie on his ass, who's going over there to knock the dude who did that?
right,
Like if even on the Celtics, you had Semi, you had Robert Williams, you had somebody who you didn't want to get tangled with. Who on the Nets is going to do that? Is
exactly.
anybody scared of KD 7 feet tall? Has he ever been in a fight? He's been 7 feet tall since he was 11 years old. He was this is a dude who was fighting with the white actor Michael Rappaport
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
he
he's a
sure was.
gangster. Yeah, and everybody laughed right in his face, talking about, dude, you ain't no gangster. Like get out of here with that.
so are
So
you
when
sending that?
the
Are
yeah
you
when the
picking
Nets,
Milwaukee then?
huh?
Are you picking Milwaukee then?
Um, I don't know. Like, if it was a 7 game series, I would pick them. If depending on how the Celtics look, I lost one bet last year. Celtics and because Brown wasn't healthy. But if you tell me it's a healthy Celtics versus a healthy Nets team, I'm going with the Celtics. I'm comfortable putting 100, 200 on that. I just don't believe the Nets have what it takes to beat a team that wants to beat them, that cares, 4 out of 7 times. You
I think
can't
you're.
tell me that type of makeup
I,
is
I
going to
think
work in the
your.
playoffs.
I think your disdain is making you
Nope.
put
I
you.
made a lot of money. Believe me, when that toe was on the line, I made thousands of dollars off that toe going on the line. And they should have lost in 6 games, in 5 or 6 games last year.
And if that
Because
tone
you
wasn't
have
on
to
the
realize
line,
they're
we would have
always
lost a
going to
lot of
get
money.
hurt. They're going to get hurt. That team is going to get hurt. They're not going to fight through injuries. Kyrie's not going to fight through an injury. Harden certainly isn't. So if he pulls a hammy, if he stubs a toe, if he does any of that stuff, it don't matter if it's crunch time. It don't matter if it's playoffs, game 7. They're gonna bang out, and that's what I bet on. I'm not betting on their talent. I'm betting on their makeup.
So
And
should
Hart.
we not should we not apply this same logic? DC's gonna get upset. To the Lakers, Anthony Davis is always hurt. LeBron's been
That
getting nicked up a little bit. The only
you
dude
have
I
to.
can
That's
see
a
playing all
factor.
82
Yeah,
games is Westbrook.
yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, I trust in LeBron. I think LeBron. I think if Davis wasn't hurt, LeBron would have played harder. But I don't trust Davis. He's a Kentucky player. Kentucky players, they bang out whenever they can.
Shout out to
And-
Bernard Coleman, your weak ass Kentucky team. Go ahead, AC.
Yeah, so like I said, I factor in, and I mean, we've had these conversations in a group 1,000 times. I think too many people look just at the stats. And so they say, oh, like I saw somebody write in the little chat, I'll take that bet, I'll take that bet. I had 10 people take that bet. I spent their money in Columbia. It was no problem for me to take all those bets and look at the stats and hear people, oh, this person's nice, best dribble, best hand, oh, whatever. None of that stuff matters when you have to win 4 out of 7 games.
Well,
So like,
where I'm going to push back on this though is that I think the dynamic that they have and what makes them dangerous if they're healthy is Harden, who I just
they're not
cut.
going to be healthy. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying.
So even when
It's
Kyrie
always if they're healthy. No, they're not. It's not going to happen. Those 3 guys at the point of their career, and Kyrie for his whole career, you can't tell me that they're going to go a whole NBA season and then come playoff time, say they're facing an angry Milwaukee team, they're facing a young Bull team, which we don't know how good they're going to be.
these soft
Are
NBA
they
dudes load manage now though.
load management? But some of it, see, there's a difference between load management because you're old and you need a break, like a Tim Duncan or LeBron, or a guy who's not going to fight through injury, like a Kawhi. Kawhi is load management his way to $250 million. Has he played? He hasn't even played 70 games. He's
Yeah,
missed.
I think Kyrie's going to find a way not to play a lot of games this year.
And then
And
how are
make
they
sure
going to come in the playoffs? They can't take the whole year off like they did last year and then not get hurt in the playoffs. That's how you get hurt. And that's what's going to happen. Like I'm betting, I'm not like people will get angry. They go, "Oh, you said this such and such sucks." KD doesn't suck. Harden doesn't necessarily suck. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Kyrie. I would put him about there, but I'm not betting on their talent. Like I said, I'm betting on the fact
You're
that
betting that they're going to get hurt.
that they're not going to finish the season, or they don't want to finish the season. They could care less. They don't care. So KD's got his title. Kyrie got his coattail title, and
think
I don't
KD
think
cares.
Harden's a winner.
I think KD cares. I think KD wants to win a championship in Brooklyn. I think he
If
does.
he did, he wouldn't have. He would have traded Kyrie when they could have got Ben Simmons or somebody like that. If he cared, Kyrie wouldn't be on the team.
You believe that rumor?
Yeah. Why would you? You got Ben Simmons who don't want to shoot, who all he wants to do is pass you the ball, and then you got Kyrie, who
play D.
is staging shit and all kinds of stuff, and
But for all the
missing
reasons-
games when it counts.
But all the reasons you just cussed Kyrie, why would Philly want Kyrie, knowing that he's going to be hurt all the time? And you have a center who's probably going to get hurt too. You know what? Speaking of all these injuries, if the Celtics could just make a move, they could just find a way to make a move, and these injuries happen, they could slip into contention. If you're right about the injuries, if Embiid gets hurt again,
Here we go with your wish list.
It's
I can wish,
possible.
right? I can
No,
wish,
if
right?
they had a, to me, if they had another version of Pritchard, so if Marcus, to me, I would start Pritchard and have Smart come off the bench.
Oh, you about to get cussed out.
Because if they had that pass first point guard, so that somebody, or at least somebody with some balls to tell Tatum and Brown, work with each other and not just work at the same time. So if they had a point guard, Alonzo Ball, who I was advocating for, if they can sign all these bit players to $7-10 million contracts, they could me is better than, and that's what they did. So
Yo, I see.
Pritchard to me should be starting, and Smart should be coming off the bench. That would solve a bunch of problems for the Celtics. I'd give them 5 more wins if they did that. They're a 50-win team with Pritchard.
I agree
I
with
think they
that.
gotta. I think they gotta find a way not to go back to Celtics, but if they can find a way to make a move, and what you say happens with the Nets, and if Philly gets hurt, maybe they get lucky.
I think so. They should have. So like when they lost to Miami in the bubble, I mean that was their chance to get to the
Stay
finals.
there.
And
Stay
some of
there.
the worst coaching I've ever seen in my life cost them that series. And I think now nobody knows what Ime is going to do. So like someone's saying they should start Schroeder and bring Smart off the bench. I don't know about that.
Dude, I want to see Smart start. I want to see him start. I want him to. I want everyone to see what I see, for better or for worse. I want him to start. I want him to be the best person he can be and the worst person he can be all at the same damn time, because that's what he does. And I want to see it happen. And maybe everyone will be right and I'm wrong. And Smart balls out and he's a borderline all-star and the Celtics win a bunch of games and then the Yahoos are right.
Borderline all-star. What?
We seen he is who he is. We seen who he is. He'll never be an all-star. You can forget that.
No, of course not. No.
It's just not gonna happen. So he's a tough player.
They staying on the bench.
What's going on, y'all? He brings the toughness, we get it. Steve tried to convince me last night of how good Marcus Smart was, but you just got to see this in person.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Last night he tried to tell me how good Smart was, and
was he drinking?
Yada. Anyway, but it is what it is.
Remember, Marcus Smart at one point was going to be the number 1 pick. He was going to be he was the best player in college coming out of high school. If he had come direct from high school, he might have been the number 1. But as soon as people actually talked to this kid and listened to him speak and saw his mannerism and stuff, he dropped. And that's why, to me, he's a perfect guy. He's a perfect 6th man. You let him see the game. You get him in there with the bench players. That way, he can be the man that he thinks he is in his head without screwing up everybody else, without screwing up the rest of the offense. So if he's the number 1 option playing with Pritchard and the other bench players, great. But if he thinks he should be taking threes in the last second of the game when Tatum and Brown are on the court, that's when you run into garbage like what we see.
Yo,
that's when you want to break the TV.
Some of y'all are lying. I'm sorry.
There's a bunch. Yeah, I see it too.
Lying, dog. You're lying.
I got a question. Luka Doncic, is he top 5? Is he better than Trey?
What you say?
Luka Doncic, is he top 5? And is he better than Trey?
Oh, yeah, of course. He's way better than Trey. He's way better than Trey. People are... That's another team that should have been out, just like Phoenix should have been out in the first round, second round at best. I think Trey he doesn't suck like he first appeared to, but he's nowhere near Luka. Nowhere near. 100%. I don't think that whole team just got paid. So Atlanta just got paid. I just forgot the kid's name, the wing that just got paid. He had turned down the $95 million. He ended up making money. All of them are paid now. Huh?
Collins?
Yeah, Collins. Yeah, him.
Yep.
Dude,
so he just got paid. Are they going to get better or worse this year? And to me, they're going to get worse. So a big factor for me is like Phoenix, they lost in the finals. People forget that every sport, whether it's football, you look at Kansas City this year, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, generally the team, except for San Antonio that year where they came back and waxed Miami, the team that loses in the finals generally has a hangover the next year. They generally don't play as good. You look at Kansas City, what they're doing. Go back in history, you look at the team that lost the finals. it takes them a while, if at all, to get back, especially in the NBA, to get back to where they were. And people are disregarding that with Phoenix. So Phoenix, you now got Chris Paul, who's older. You now have Devin Booker, who I think goes without saying he's a Kentucky player. Are they going to get better when the other teams around them, like Memphis? To me, Memphis has gotten better. Denver has gotten better. So LA has gotten better now, and who knows what's going to happen with the Clippers? But
Suns are gonna be better than the Memphis. They're gonna be better than the
huh?
Clippers too. Suns are gonna be better than both the Memphis and the Clippers.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, they're
It,
going to be
Yeah, the
better.
Suns are.
is is Chris Paul going to full season?
Well, then, I mean, you could say that about a lot of teams. Like you could say if LeBron gets hurt, knock on wood, is the Lakers going to be? No. You say that about any team with a great player.
Right. Hey, Aaron, do you got Luka at top 5?
Definitely. I definitely. You know what? I should think that. I like right off the top. I would say yeah. Maybe I should think about it.
No, that's
But
nothing to think about.
yeah. Like he is arguably an MVP type of player. He's a lot. He
I have him top 3. To be honest.
really.
Yeah.
I have to think about.
He was top 5 last year.
If we're talking about like I'm 25 and under, he's
No,
definitely
I'm talking about the entire NBA.
entire NBA. Wow.
Who are you talking about? I cut out for a second. Who are you saying?
Luka, the top 5.
Yeah, I think without question, he's a top 5 player. That team
Is
is
he
garbage.
top 3, like DC said?
I got him as top 3. Yeah. I have him top 3.
3?
So wait,
Yeah.
so who's your 3? I don't even know who my 3 is. And I'm
Yeah,
asking.
who would your 3 be then if he's top 3?
KD, Luka, and I kind of don't want to name my 3rd. I got to throw LeBron in top 3. But there, honestly, like if there isn't a player I'll take in the NBA over Luka today. Not one person.
I mean, that's
You
fair.
think-
If
you think
you're
he's better than
counting
Kawhi?
age and everything, yeah.
Oh, you count age and all that.
If
Definitely.
if KD was the same age as Luka, I'm taking Luka.
Wow.
Let's just put it like that.
I wouldn't do that.
I would.
I can't argue that. I would think
KD's
about
a
that
dog.
too.
But I'm going with Luka.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you factor in him getting better, I'm thinking LeBron, Durant, Luka. Who would I take ahead?
Right.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I would put him outside the top 3 because of Giannis, because of the Greek. So right now I would take the Greek over Luka. Yeah, definitely. When I think about it, I would definitely take. You give me the size, you give me the scoring.
The defense.
Yeah, because like Luka still can't shoot. People think he can shoot because he's white, but he can't shoot when you look at the numbers. he takes big shots, but throughout the whole game, I think he's at like 34% or something like that. So he's around Marcus Smart numbers. He can't really shoot. People think he can, but
Which
he can't.
is bad. Someone tried to make the argument that Smart's shooting is improved because he shot better than Luka.
I saw that. Yeah, all those players that they put were bad shooters.
Yeah, I'm like, what's your point here? And by the way, he wasn't better than Luka last year, so I don't know what that person was talking about. But you're right. But I think Giannis needs to be talked about more in the NBA. Like I thought what he did in the playoffs and the finals was really impressive. I thought for a guy who can airball a foul shot, all of a sudden to start hitting foul shots and making shots, that's coming up big. And now, isn't that what we want from our stars? But I don't feel like he's getting the light like he should be getting. If that was LeBron James who did that, and started hitting foul shots and all that jazz, people would be losing their mind.
Well, Luka, I mean, Giannis is still a big man, and big men don't get the same pub as wings and whatnot. But I think Giannis is getting his credit because they're comparing him. I mean, when you look at his numbers, he put up Shaq numbers.
Yeah.
The numbers that Giannis put up, that's what a prime Shaq put up. And so when people notice that, they're giving him that due. It doesn't seem like it because he's skinny, but when you look at the impact that he has and the numbers that he puts up, That's Shaq. That's Shaq, in Orlando. That's Shaq in early LA. And that makes an impact, which is another reason I would take him over Luka right now. I think
Hey, Facebook.
he's one of the few players that I would trade. I would trade Luka for. I can't think of anyone else who I would trade like right now who I would trade Luka for. And the idea of trade and that being an equal trade, that's insane. That's just people living in the moment.
Hold up, Aaron. Time out. Didn't one day you and I get into it? Because I was like, dude, I would trade Jaylen Brown for Luka right now. And you said you wouldn't do that. Was that you?
Of course it wasn't me. Because I would do that. I would do that right now and add a first round pick.
Man.
Because I look at if you're putting if you're putting Luka with Tatum, to me that's a 55 win team with the rest of the Celtics. I think the Celtics would be 50 plus. Yeah.
You put Luka with Tatum, I can see them competing against Brooklyn easily. I can't see Brown and Tatum doing it.
So is the answer trading Jaylen Brown?
Huh?
Is the answer?
I wouldn't trade him because who are you going to trade him for? Who's going to be better than what you got? So if you're telling me like a Jaylen Brown, De'Aaron Fox, that doesn't make the Celtics better. No. If you add De'Aaron Fox to them, then maybe you have some. Same thing for Bradley Beal. I would never trade Brown for Bradley Beal. To me, that makes sense. That's a waste of time. Yeah. In fact, you not only waste of time, you're probably worse. So if you go around the league, who would you trade Jaylen Brown for? That would get you to where I need to be in order for me to win basketball game. So would you trade for Brown for Joker? Yeah, maybe. But does that make them a serious contender? Would you trade Brown for Dame? Like would you trade Brown for Dame? No, you got the same thing. No. You just got two ISO players. In fact, he's older and makes more money.
I get killed every time I say this, though. I might do it for Cat. I might.
For who?
I just might. For Cat.
No.
Carl.
No.
Yeah.
Team instantly gets worse.
Right. He's soft. If he couldn't win with nobody caring in Minnesota, how do you think he's going to react?
Boston instantly gets worse with Cat.
Right.
Who wins in Minnesota? Outside of KG,
they will boo him.
Never won in Minnesota.
It doesn't matter, but they will boo him his second night. When they see him not going hard for a rebound, when they see him, lollygagging, you can't. Soft players just don't work. They don't work in Boston, regardless of who you root for.
No, they don't. But
he's soft.
And for the record, I would rather add Cat to these two than trade for Cat. But trade Jaylen. But I'm just thinking, I would. There's a couple of dudes out there I think I would do it for, and I also think if you get Cat in a better situation, I think some players play better. Like when you have a bad situation, players.
They said cut your mic off.
Hey, David hasn't been right about one single thing he's ever posted, so he is not in a position to tell me to cut anything off.
Cat's not. We're not going to. Trading for Jaylen Brown for Cat, that's just not a good move. It's going backwards.
And you see the problem with where the Celtics are at. If you have an asset like Brown, what is he, 25? He's got, he's 25. He's got 4 years left on his contract. And the three of us right now, and anybody watching, if you can't think of a realistic trade for your second best asset, then you have a problem. Like, who can you trade? It shouldn't take us, this long to figure out who can we trade for Jaylen Brown to make the Celtics better. I legit cannot think of anybody that trading him outside of Luka and Giannis, which is not realistic.
You would have to get 2, maybe 3 players back and some draft picks or something. But is he the type of player that could get you that?
No, I mean,
and I'm not saying we should trade Brown. I'm just saying all the things we've said about the Celtics on and off. Is trading him the way to get better?
No, because there's nobody to trade him for. So if you tell me I could trade Jaylen Brown right now for the Duke kid, coming out next year, then I'll listen. Like I got too many names in my head, but the Duke kid, the freshman on Duke, to me, he's like a Michael Porter Jr. I think he can make a difference. He's a player that can make a difference on the Celtics team.
So
It was the same thing with Ja coming out a couple years ago. If that might be a player who you could trade Brown for, and the Celtics would get better. If you're telling me I'll take back Ja Morant and you get Brown, then we might be able to talk because I think that's a point guard who could take charge when needed to, but he also knows enough to get Tatum the ball and let him cook when he needs. And I
yeah,
really think that's the thing that the Celtics are missing, and I'm
I
going to
thought
harp
the
on
move
that all season.
I thought the move for the Celtics really in off season was to try and figure out how to get Ball here.
Who?
Yeah, and he screwed it up.
Lonzo Ball. I think that was the guy they should try to figure out how to get here. I
With
mean, maybe
what?
they did.
With
Maybe they
who?
did, and dudes were like, "Nah, we're not doing that." But I think that's you need. I think you need that type of point guard here. Heck, you might not even need a superstar point guard
They
here.
don't
You
need
might just
John Wall.
yeah.
John Wall, yo,
No,
Well,
you don't need a
They don't need
superstar.
John Wall.
yeah.
You need
I
a
didn't say John
pass
Wall. I said
first
Lonzo
player.
Ball. Lonzo. When he was in Saint what was it? Where was he? New Orleans. Lonzo Ball. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was in New Orleans. So
Lonzo would have been a perfect fit.
you know, but
But
how about something unorthodox? See, the problem is we don't have enough shooting, or I would be like, yo, go get so and so, but he can't shoot. So, I don't
You
know.
don't need it. You know who would have been who if you could have got him for the right price? Um, the Miami point guard, the vet, the the fat
Oh,
point
exactly.
guard.
yeah.
Gordon,
Yeah.
Gordon.
But he's been getting hurt a lot lately, too.
But he is. I think they need a grown up, and they haven't had a grown up yet on the team. So if you think about Tatum and Brown's career, they haven't had a serious vet. So they had sort of those clownish type vets, um, and then they had Kyrie as their vet, but they haven't had a guy who just commanded respect in the locker room. So when you got Brown talking openly about Kyrie, you got Marcus Smart feuding with Kyrie and shit like that. There's been no vet in there that can say, look, this is how you do it. You two got the future. Got the world by the balls. So why don't you do it this way? They haven't had that, and a vet like that would straighten them out to me. And so, like even when you had Paul available when he was on OKC, that was something they should have looked at over Kemba. So they got Kemba, and immediately Kemba, as soon as they signed Kemba, he was the third best player. So what are Tatum and Brown going to like? What are they going to say to him? What can you do for me? And I think that was a huge problem for the whole thing. Like this David person talking about Celtics need a better bench. They don't need a better bench. Everybody's bench pretty much sucks. They need a cohesive starting five, which they haven't had because they just keep putting random ass
Right.
people together.
So how about
Like they
this?
had remember that graphic that
So what
like
if
what was it last year? Somebody go ahead.
I was gonna say, what if it's Tatum and Brown just need to just listen more and be open and just grow up. They need to take charge of that team. Like to me, Smart can't be the leader of your team. And I think that would fix
No,
a lot right there. Like when I hear, oh, he's the heart and soul, the leader. No, I don't want to hear that about him. Like I need Jalen to be that or Tatum to be that.
This is what the Celtics need. Trade Jalen Brown. Switch up the chemistry over there. You cannot win a championship with two ISO players like that, and then you don't even got a real point guard over there. It's just not going to work for Boston. I understand your wish list, Les. I do. I get it. I truly do. It's going to come true one day, but like right now, y'all on the downfall, man. But I want to go to the next topic, and I don't want to drag that out too long. What do y'all think about the women's college ball heading to March Madness? They'll be represented by March Madness. They'll be marketed by March Madness, just like the guys, I guess, to get them a little bit more exposure or whatever the case is. But they're doing whatever they can to market this women's basketball. And now women's college basketball will be part of March Madness. What do y'all think?
I think that's dope. Because I think there's going to be some good games to watch. There's going to be some bad games to watch too. There's going to be some good games to watch.
Will it help the game for the women?
I don't think so. I
Neither.
don't think it'll help. I think just like with certain women's sports, like for me, I know a lot of brothers here have daughters. I think Title IX is fantastic for women's sports and things like that. But when you try to force a product that isn't as good as your other one, just for the sake of forcing it, then you're going to have some people who automatically are going to tune it out. So I think it's going to hurt more than it's going to help. So I remember years ago when Obama picked his Final Four, his March Madness, and he didn't do a women's one, and a bunch of people protested that. Why didn't you do women? Blah, blah, blah.
I think I have an advertising background. I haven't been in advertising for quite some time though, but I think if you market something enough, if you put something enough in front of people's faces, you subconsciously it starts to live there. And I also think that the college game for women is a better product than that WNBA. That's just my opinion though. So I mean, I think that there's a chance that it could happen with enough marketing. Maybe some gimmicks they use. Maybe some NBA players start showing up to these games too.
Mhm.
You know, maybe they got to do something. They got to try something. You know, so what that is, I mean, they make more than enough money to try this.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, they can write it off as a business expense.
What's going on, Marlon?
What's up? What's up, y'all?
I see you in the comments talking that shit.
Yes, because y'all sound crazy. Well, you ain't sound crazy. You ain't sound crazy.
Well, what was the most crazy thing you heard?
Jaylen Brown for Cat.
Really?
Definitely crazy.
I don't know why people don't like Cat.
No, I like Cat, but that's just crazy.
It's definitely
So,
crazy.
If most people are saying that Jaylen and Brown don't work because they
You said
can't
Jaylen and who?
Jaylen, I'm sorry,
Tatum.
Jaylen and Tatum don't work. They look like they're taking turns and all that. Wouldn't pairing Tatum with a big man be if you can't get a point guard to add to the mix? Wouldn't pairing him with a big man be a better look?
Not a soft big man, no.
Right.
What's the point?
But for a soft big man, he rebounds in double figures. He blocks shots. And look, he's in Minnesota.
How much more does he give you than Williams?
Play big. He's a big
Right.
man that
I
just
think
does not
he
play
gets you
big
a
nowhere in
good
his
amount of
game.
more than Williams, actually.
Like
No.
what?
I don't think Williams gets 9 rebounds a game. And Cat's like 11, 12 boards a game. And he's getting 20. You know, and you could run pick and pop with Cat. And he blocks defense. He plays
All right,
defense.
so if you trade Brown and it's just Tatum and Cat and they double Tatum, you gonna rely on Cat?
Dude, Cat's been getting 20-plus points by himself in Minnesota until that rookie got there. So he can score. Now,
I'm just saying he can't, but you gonna rely on him to carry your offense?
That
yeah, why
question is for
not?
you.
Yeah, why not? He can score. He can score in the paint. He can score outside. He can score. Like, I think Cat's getting a bad rap because he plays on a really bad team. And what we do as fans, we look at a guy playing on a bad team with no motivation to play on that bad team, and we label him as X. Or we say
that's an excuse.
Really?
Yes.
So have we not seen tons of players be in bad situations and they go to a good situation and next thing you know they're reborn and they're balling?
Yeah, we've seen it, but I'm not going to sit here and say because he's in a bad situation, that's an excuse for his performance. And I like Cat. I don't think Cat is a scrub. I think he's good. Is he soft a little bit? But I don't think he no bum. I'm just seeing him on the Celtics with just him and Tatum being the main two guys. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work
at all.
So, well, how do you feel about Tatum and Brown working?
I like Tatum and Brown.
I do too. But do you think it's going to, you think it's going to bear fruit at some point?
Yeah, but I mean, regardless of what they do, Celtics not going nowhere. that's just how I look at it. I think Schroeder's a good point guard for them. Is he gonna make a big difference? Probably not. We'll see. But Celtics ain't going nowhere regardless.
I don't think they are either. And for them to go somewhere, I think two things got to happen, or maybe three. Brown and Tatum's got to be so good that it doesn't matter who's on the team with them. They got to get to that type of level of they're that good, right? Or
Everybody get hurt.
or well, yeah, a little luck could help. So that would be the third option. But or you find a way to finagle a trade to get a third player in there that helps Brown and Tatum blend better. Like you
Now,
mentioned,
if you say Cat with Tatum and Brown, I like that better. And Schroeder at the 1, I like that better.
I like
but
that better too. But how do you
trading Brown for Cat and then having only Tatum and Cat as your big man, and then you got Schroeder, you got Marcus Smart back there. He might come off the bench, but that's not solid enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's not solid enough. I'm not, because to me, Brown brings intensity. You see what I'm saying? So you trading intensity for Cat. See what I'm saying? And Brown is talented. I'm not saying Cat not, but you losing more than you gaining if you trade.
Yeah,
That's
a
I got to
losing
be honest
trade.
with you. I think Cat's a better player than Brown.
No, it's not. He's not.
Absolutely not.
He's not a better player than Brown.
Dude, I think if you put Brown in Minnesota, we would all be saying Brown's not that good of a player and all types of stuff.
No, we wouldn't.
Nah,
No, I don't think.
Why be doing more?
He'll be doing more over there, 100%.
Word?
Yeah,
And I think
He'll be doing
I don't
more
know.
over there. Bro, Cat sucks. He honestly does.
whoa.
Jimmy
whoa.
Butler showed us that a couple years ago. Like he
I
exposed him.
ain't gonna say Cat suck. I ain't gonna say that.
I am. Because if you can't perform when needed, you suck.
And then his mother just passed him. With Corona and all of that. You don't know where his headspace at right now.
He was playing like that before that, man. So
No, but I'm saying right, exactly. So it might get worse. You see what I'm saying? So
Well, they're saying that Cat won out. So
yeah, I heard that.
So
and Boston is not the place for him to go.
Hey,
He's
you know
not.
what?
He's not cut
They
out.
do trade
He's not cut out for Boston.
I hope
No,
that trade
that'd
does
be
happen,
terrible.
Les.
don't he like white women?
It's
He should be fine in Boston.
like he'd be eating alive. So
You don't want Cat in Boston.
there's no York or Boston. He can't
Yes,
do
I
it.
said that, David. Yes, I did.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
Heat in 5.
All right.
Let's move on to the next topic, though, man. I do hope y'all get Cat because that will make y'all worse, and that should have made my day all day. So I'm cool with that. Go get Cat. That might make Tatum a little bit more vocal. We have to start screaming on a soft big man like that because he's definitely
And then
not
he
going to
gonna
come
start
at
crying.
Brown like that.
At all.
But let's talk
Anybody
about-
ever seen him yell?
Let's talk about the young players that are coming up right now. Cam Reddish, Bobo, Halliburton. Who's going to have a good breakout year this season? Out of the young guys. Let me hear you, Marlon.
Who you said? You said Cam Reddish and who else? Bobo?
Halliburton, whoever you think. Bobo, Stewart.
Who do I think? Oh,
Isaac
this year? You talking about this
Cash.
year coming up?
Yeah, this year coming up. Who's going to have a good
Melo.
breakout year? What young player?
Hello. Easily.
Yeah, but he already had that. He already did his thing, though. Like, him and Anthony Edwards can't really be in this. Like, we're looking at somebody
Okay,
like
okay, that's fair.
You know
That's
what I mean?
fair. That's fair. Young.
Wiseman.
I don't think Wiseman gonna have a breakout year. I think he's gonna be solid though, but with Clay coming back, he's gonna get less touches.
Right. I like the kid from Sacramento. That's why I think Fox's touches are going to go down just a little bit, man. They're going to give that kid Halliburton the ball a whole lot.
Right.
And he might, and it would be cool to keep them together. But, if Aaron gets into that ego thing, man, they might ship him out because that boy's good.
Right.
And
Right.
I think he's my pick for having a really good breakout season. I really like the kid a lot. And I think that's going to put some pressure on Fox to really, make a decision on if he can handle playing with somebody like that can control the ball and he'll be able to share the ball. That can just make them a much better team, if you ask me.
Right.
But that's my pick. I like that kid a lot.
I mean, I can't. That's a good question. I can't think of a young guy right now that I think will have a breakout season.
Is Lonzo Ball considered young? Because I think he's gonna be really good for the Bulls.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a young. He's talking about like first year, right? You talking
Still
rookies?
more or less in
second
like
year?
their second year. You know what I mean? They already got a taste of the league now, but now let's see what they can do next year.
Right.
Who's the kid in Minnesota? What's his name?
That was
Yeah, well, I think he's gonna be pretty good.
yeah.
I think he's gonna be pretty
Them
good.
and Melo don't count. We know what they're gonna do. They showed us.
Right.
You feel me? They showed us exactly what they're gonna be able to do. The ball was given to both of them off rip. You know, there's guys
be Halliburton then.
Honestly, though, I want to see. Even though the Pistons probably don't make no noise, I do want to see Cunningham ball out. I want to see him hold his own.
He's a good.
That's one person I can think of. I want to see him hold his own.
He's a tough one. I mean, I don't see why he shouldn't be able to hold his own. What is he, 6'8", point guard? Like,
they're gonna come for him.
It's all.
They're gonna come for him.
It's gonna be about his mental. He just has to keep his mental right, and he'll be all right. And I think, you know, even though it was you know, summer league, but he'll be all right. You can see the way he talks in these interviews, man. He's gonna carry himself well in the NBA. And he's gonna be a star, if you ask me.
But it's different when you're on that court.
Right.
It's different when you're on that court, and they in your face.
But I think he can hold his own.
I do too. I want to see him. I want to see him ball out, have a good year. I want to see all of them have a good year. I just want to see good basketball, to be honest.
I really want to see good basketball this
year. I want to see good basketball.
I want to see 82 games.
Les, you do not want to see good basketball if you want to trade Cat for Brown.
Dude, I don't actually, but I'm saying
that's not good basketball.
I don't want to trade Brown for Cat up, but I'm saying if everyone keeps saying it doesn't look like those two are gonna work, then the obvious person, and to me, you keep is Tatum, and you look to move Brown, and then if you can move Brown for an all-star who's a big, I think a Tatum and a big or a Tatum and a point guard would work better than two guys fighting over the ball.
Right.
You know, and that's my only reason for even bringing that up. In a perfect world, I would rather have Ball with Tatum and Brown, or Cat with Tatum and Brown, or someone that could, you know, can blend. But if sometimes you got to move somebody, and I don't even want that to happen. I like them both. But if we just sat through Aaron breaking some stuff down, I think we all can admit that there's times where they look like they're not playing. Like, have they even ran a pick and pop play together? Like, do they run plays for each other? Like,
who, Tatum and Brown?
Yeah.
No, it's ISO.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if you had a big that you could throw it down to or run pick and pop with.
But remember, they just got a new coach.
You know,
that's true too. So maybe things change. Maybe things change.
The Celtics have a big man with a nickname and don't even use him. Like, why does he have the nickname? So they have somebody they should be able to throw the ball down to. His name's Robert.
Yeah, but I don't think his game's there yet for that.
It's not.
You know,
that's why he shouldn't have the nickname.
Exactly. Well, I thought him having a nickname was stupid to begin with. I mean, and it's a dumb nickname.
He do bring energy though. I like that about him. He bring energy.
He does when he's out there, but he's not out there enough though. He's hurt a lot.
Right. That's true.
No, and I don't know if him being hurt is stunting his game. But you know what? You got one of you mentioned the coaching. I think someone just messaged the coaching. So maybe what I'm complaining about will change, because I heard Jaylen Brown, which goes back to what I used to say like, I feel like we're going to be held accountable and coached hard now. To me, that speaks volumes of why people call him Brad Stevens a Twinkie. Right. You know, so to me that speaks volumes. So maybe that helps. You know, maybe that gets maybe a foot in their butt gets them going. You know, and maybe Brad as a GM, you know, he somehow replaced the GM that no one wanted to replace. Maybe he can do what Danny couldn't do.
Brad will do better. He'll do better at the GM position than at the coaching position, because when he came in at the coach, cats in that group was praising him every single day.
Mm-hmm. We were.
Now they're like, you know, they're that's what normally happens in the group. They talk some good shit, and when things don't go the way they, you know, the prisoners of the moments, it's like now they disappear. Nobody wants to talk about Brad anymore. But let's move on to the last topic, and we're gonna close this out with. I want to talk a little bit about the Wizards and my guy Kyle Kuzma. What type of breakout season do we think Kyle Kuzma is gonna have? Is he gonna step it up? Is he gonna?
I think he's gonna play the way he's always played.
No, but I can't say that. He has to play the way he came in before LeBron. If he plays that way, he can show
Kuzma
his
gonna ball
talent
out.
and do what he got to do.
What's
Because
balling
the
out
kid
for
can
you?
score.
Kuzma
So
gonna
is
show y'all what he really got because a lot of people don't understand the situations like that with him. He's talented for real, but a lot of times it's easy for somebody like Kuzma to say, oh, he don't do this, he can't do that when you playing with a bunch of other all-stars. But Kuzma has a lot to offer, and now that he's on the team and Westbrook just left and he just there with Bill and he's surrounded by other role players, I think him and Bill 1-2 punch. I'm not saying they're gonna be great or they're gonna, make no run. But I think Kuzma and Bill, I think they can ball out together. Kuzma gonna look good this year because Kuzma can actually ball. Y'all sleeping on Kuzma like Kuzma just some scrub. I'm not saying he no all-star, no superstar, but he's solid to me.
Oh, I don't think he's a scrub either. I definitely don't think he's a scrub. I think he's a good NBA player, but a breakout, like what's that? Like what are we talking like? Is he gonna get 20 a night? Is he gonna be around 18, 17? Is he gonna shoot around 45%? Play some solid defense, become a playmaker. Like I'm still trying to figure out what type of player Kuzma can be. Is he just going to be a scorer, or is he going to kind of?
Now he got a well-rounded game.
Yeah. Like is he going to develop that more?
I think he's actually going to show more of it now.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
Because now he's in a situation where he can make a real name for himself. See, when you playing with LeBron and AD, the most you're going to make is a solid role player. Nobody's going to, just throw you in there or you an all-star superstar when you're playing with them. Now he with the Wizards. Now he got, he could really make a name for himself. At the end of the day, I don't think he's going to do nothing crazy like no 30 points or 25 a game. I think at the most he'll average 20. But it'll be a solid 20. You see what I'm saying?
If he averages a solid 20, he'll be a borderline all-star or an all-star.
Because they got the kid Spencer, too, from Brooklyn. They got the kid Spencer as well from Brooklyn.
He's getting 20 a night. He's in the conversation.
He's in the conversation, but I don't think it's too much in the East right now.
Because Tobias Harris is the borderline all-star, and he's right there. You know what? That might be a good comparison. Can Kuzma be Tobias Harris or better?
Tobias Harris?
Yes, I think Tobias Harris is a solid NBA player.
No, I like him, but I never heard that comparison. That's random.
Well, what I mean by is, can he be better than him, or will their games equal out?
I think he can. I like Tobias too.
Yeah.
I like Tobias, but I think he can be better.
We got to see how he's used first. Because that matters too. Because if the system ain't right, it don't fit him, then it might not work. But if they let him ball out, let him do him, run plays, let him freelance a little bit. They feed off of each other. I can see Kuzma balling out.
And with the system they got in Washington, he should be able to do that with what they're doing in Washington right now. They're a terrible team.
Right. And he knows they're not going nowhere.
So they should be able to let him, they should be able to give him the green light.
Right. Go make that money. Go show why you need to get paid. That's all you need to do. Go out there and make that money.
Stop switching up them fucking hairdos.
He definitely needs to start doing that. He definitely needs to stop doing that. But I think he could be pretty good there. Breakout, I don't know. Maybe he needs not breakout.
I don't want to say breakout, but he's gonna do better. I think he's gonna do better.
Right.
Maybe maybe give him like 3 years. 3 years, then he'll have that breakout season. But he's still got to get comfortable. He still got to get comfortable being his own.
How old is he now? Is he 23 yet?
He's like 23. Yeah, he's like 22, 23. He's still young.
Then he's got time. He's got time.
Right.
He's got plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
His career is pretty much starting over right now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His career is pretty much starting over. He got a new beginning.
Unfortunately,
I think people are literally just writing the Wizards off. It's like they got a solid squad if these dudes can just. It's like Spencer got busy in Brooklyn. Like we see what he can do, but he had an injury. But we see what he can do, and the Wizards are just written off. Bradley Beal, leading scorer, NBA. He can put up the numbers as well, but it's like we'll see what they can do.
I'm not writing them off. I'm writing when I'm writing off.
I think they got some talent.
The playoffs and who they gonna play
together.
Because I don't see them being the Bulls. I don't see them being the Nets. I don't see them being the Heat. I don't see them being the Hawks. They might give up. They probably got a good chance with the Hawks, but I don't see them beating them.
Right.
But like you said, it's just a matter of them,
gelling
and together.
Gel.
Yeah.
They're better than Charlotte? Because I think they're better than Charlotte.
I like Charlotte.
They might be better.
Charlotte is building some good chemistry over there. That's major.
They are. But I think today that they have a little bit more than Charlotte today.
They like Melo. They loving Melo over there. Miles is getting busy. Terry's got a contract. I don't know. I like them over there. I think their chemistry's a lot better.
I like Charlotte better.
Washington probably better, but chemistry,
right.
Charlotte got that, and that might beat that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That beats talent all day. That chemistry. So I like what Charlotte's doing over there, man. It's Charlotte. No, what Washington's going to put together though.
Charlotte, they know to play through Melo.
Right. That whole organization is loving Melo. When they're all behind him, you got your plays behind you. They're just gonna follow suit, man. That chemistry is gonna be great.
Right.
You know, they only believe in that kid.
They
believe in that kid. But thanks, fellas, man. We're gonna close it out. Les,
yes, sir.
I appreciate you as usual. Marlon, I appreciate you, brother. You know what time it is. Thanks
for
having me. Thanks for joining the conversation. Make sure we schedule you back in, man, and get you back on another show because you always got good shit to talk, man.
Yes,
always ready to bring
That's the plan.
Right. I appreciate everybody joining the show, watching the show, who commented, David. Shout out to Andre Scott, too, man. We give a big shout out to Andre Scott, man. He's always in the comments. He's always popping off. Appreciate that, man, a whole lot. New cat to the group. Appreciate everybody leaving their comments. Y'all are gladly appreciate it. Follow us on all major platforms. Sit and Talk Sports, Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Come to the group, Sit and Talk Sports. Help us grow some more. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Sit and Talk Sports. Please go subscribe. We just got over 100. We'll take 100 more. Thanks, everybody.